another Magic Monday. Whoa.
Another Manic Monday.
I'm Willow Bradner, the accidental psychic Earth to do. So I help uncover and deliver you to your potential and eradicate any fear or pain that might be holding you back.
My name's Nikki. I'm a recovery and life transition coach as well as a yoga instructor.
That's another Magic Monday.
It's another one. I love it.
Yes.
Feels very magical.
So good. Happy Monday, everybody who's joining us. Today, our intentionality begins with self-love. Now, it's a misnomer often that self-love is one that is self-indulgent, that somehow to love oneself is to take time out, and that we don't have time for that sort of indulgent. We don't have time to love ourselves. We don't have time for the self-care. And so today, Nikki and I are going to really just talk about what self-love really means, and then how to stay in that space and how it serves ultimately the greater scope of the world. So, Nikki, what are your thoughts on self-love?
Self-love to me is self-care.
Yes.
And it's not, a luxury. It's not something that is grandiose. It's almost like a responsibility.
Responsibility is a great word for it. Yeah.
And which we're going to talk about later on in the series responsibility. But for me, it's like this is a vehicle. Our bodies are a vehicle. Our minds are like an amazing database, like a hard drive.
Yeah.
And so if we take care of both of these, then our spirit can shine, and then life is just easier. We're less affected by, emotional ups and downs and, challenges of life, and, we avoid more health challenges. There's just so many things that are avoidable so that we can use our energy for things we love, people we love, and we can tune in. It's just easier to tune into our innate guidance of what we're meant to be. So I think it's just what you do. You make time and energy for it, and you figure out what you like, and you do those things.
There's a few key things that you said there, and the number one, because I feel like oftentimes what we are mostly motivated for, and raise your hand if this sounds like you guys, what a lot of us are motivated for is how we can serve other people, how we're going to help other people, what we're supposed to do for the greater good. And I feel like self-love is the number one step and tool to really serving the population, to really investing yourself into the world that we live in today. Like, if you're unwilling to create self-care for yourself, then how is it that the world can care for you? And how is it that you'll have the energy to carry out love for the people around you? What I notice in the time frame with which we're living in at current is that so many people are so bankrupt energetically, they haven't put love on themselves, and then therefore have expectations of others to create love for them, right? And so they feel like they're giving everything and they're not getting anything for themselves. And so then they take out that lack of love that they have for themselves, and they end up resenting, and they end up not caring for the world at large. And so the misnomer here is that it is not indulgent. As Nikki so aptly put, it is a responsibility. Because if we're going to be our best, authentic, awesome selves outside, and we're going to serve the population that we're with, then it is our responsibility to first care for ourselves. It's that old adage of like putting the mask on yourself, and literally, like, sadly, there's absolutely no surprise there that has been the adage, and now we're talking about this idea of having to wear a mask everywhere. But we have to put the airplane oxygen mask on ourselves first. In order to be the best that we can be for the world at large, we have to care for ourselves first, so that we have the energy moving forward. Yeah.
There's one of my teachers taught in one of my teacher trainings the term from Sanskrit, from yogic philosophy, pranadharma, self-care as a prerequisite for caring for others. So it's not a new concept.
Right. But it is, I think, in the society that we've been raised. We've been raised to give before we receive.
Yes.
And I think that's why we have illness, honestly.
For sure.
It's
I mean,
because
you
we're
look
so
at the
bankrupt.
caregiving industry. You know, nurses I know are a good example of ones who
Teachers,
give
yeah.
and teachers, and then
Yeah.
they're like you said, they're emotionally, spiritually, energetically bankrupt. So that's a big one. And for me, like I didn't learn, I wasn't taught this growing up. You know, I had to learn myself. You know, through crisis, a health crisis, mental health crisis. Like, what do I do? What are these things that you're supposed to do to get yourself in a good, healthy place? And then it was like magic. I was like, suddenly I felt like into like, just all these things I never felt before.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
things
let's
were
talk
working
about that.
in
What
my
does it look like when you are actually in practice of self-care? What is the benefit?
God, just you feel more radiant. You feel more radiant. You're guided. For me, like I was saying, like I feel like I don't have to control my world as much because I have more inner guidance coming. Because my body is working right, my mind is clearer because I'm taking care of them both in great ways. And we have this innate intelligence within us. It's a matter of creating the conditions for it to thrive and to present itself. So for me, it's just so much easier. I don't feel, you know, just the weight of the world. Like I said before, I don't feel ruled by my emotions and by external circumstances. It's just, life is just easier.
Yeah. And I would say the aspect of resentment, the aspect of control, and the amount of energy that it takes to work in control and to work from that place of resentment, there's actually so much energy spent in feeling like nobody gives a shit about you. And so much energy spent trying to control and manipulate everything that actually, if we have the one thing that is in our total control, is ourselves. And if we were to turn all of our trying to control others and our resentment that nobody's giving us what we want, and like put the Band-Aid here and put the love right here, and actually like started asking ourselves something that you said as well earlier was, what do you like? What do you want? Hell, what do you love? And if you spent more time in the spaces really genuinely stepping into and moving into the what you love, what you like, what you want in the world, and then honoring that honor right there is the first step, I think, in true self-love. Would you agree with that? Is just honoring the notion of what you like or what you love?
Absolutely. And you know, I think sometimes people might need to put it in a different context initially, like somebody that you really care about, what would you tell them? You know, or your child. I don't have one, but I have nieces and nephews. Like, what do you do? What makes you feel good? You know, like, and then to turn that advice and those questions just back at you if you need to, in order to switch the mindset initially, because it feels too weird to take care of yourself like that. But I mean, you just said so many things that make sense as far as like controlling the resentment and all that kind of stuff. And if we, you know, experience that self-love and self-care, then you're not so dependent on it externally. And it's just a big bonus.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, there's a lot of filters and emotions that can be, you know, dissolved.
Yes.
So that you can see more clearly.
Yes. So we're gonna have Nikki show us. What are you showing us today, Nikki?
I think that sun salutations are a great way to, for me, you know, I've mentioned how taking care of your body and your mind are crucial for me in order to feel self-care, like I'm taking care of myself. And so sun salutations, and they don't have to be the, you know, a million chaturangas, and they don't have to be super intense. It's just some movement that kind of moves into a little bit more vigorous movement. You feel your blood, your heart beating and your blood pumping. You tune into your breath. It takes focus, so you can check out of all of your planning and other things going on. And it's that true practice of yoga. So if I had three hands, I use this metaphor a lot, you know, combination locks. You know, you have your three numbers that come in, you know, together, and then it's like this, you know, this secret opening. So mind, body, breath, when you align them, it's like this opening for spirit and light and all those other things, however you experience it or define it, to shine.
Yeah.
And so a little bit every day, whether it's
Yeah.
this or hiking, I just thought this would be a good example.
So for this week, with this idea of self-care, the ask is that you follow the sun salutation for 7 days straight until next Monday when we drop in our next intention. We're going to slowly continue to build every week on these notions and ideas through movement, through breath, through mindset, and then through motivation. All right, so Nikki, let's just get started.
Awesome, happy to. Okay, so we're going to do a variation of sun salutation. Just something to get the body moving. It's not, totally strict with the rules of sun A, but it's a shorter practice, so I want us to warm up and then move and then come out of it. Okay, so we're going to stand at the top of our mats, arms by our sides, and roll the shoulders. Close your eyes, and then lengthen your toes, widen your fingers, and just feel nice broad feet. Maybe turn your palms forward a little bit, and then just kind of shift the weight around into your feet so that eventually you land just a little bit behind center. Take a nice deep breath in, hold at the top. And then exhale out your mouth if that feels okay. And we'll start to move. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, just take them to heart center. Inhale, take them back up. Exhale, come all the way down this time, like you're diving down off a cliff. Inhale, take a half lift. Make sure your feet are hip width. Little back bend. Exhale, forward. Inhale, half lift again. Exhale, forward. Come all the way up to standing. Arms out, little back bend. Waving your heels against your heart. Just really feeling the breath align with your movement. Everything moving at the same pace. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lift. Feel a little back bend. Exhale, forward. One more time, we'll come all the way up. Weighting the heels, hands to your heart, slow exhale. Aligning mind, body, and breath. Inhale, arms out. Exhale, open the chest wide, open the heart as you move forward. We'll have on, we're going to take a half left. Exhale, we're going to take the feet back to a plank. Hold here, breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Another breath in. Exhale, drop your knees, drop your chest. Just to a cobra this time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And then when you're ready, turn everything under, press up to a table, plank, down dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it forward between the hands. Drop your back heel, and inhale, come up, warrior A. Let's stay here for a moment. Exhale, and then knee a little deeper. Inhale, lean back, open your chest a little bit more. And then exhale, hands all the way down, take it back to a plank. This time, drop your knees or not, lower down halfway. And then inhale up. Exhale, take it back, down dog. Look forward at the hands. Walk or hop your feet forward. Hold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Waving your heels, slow breath out, hands to heart. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, swan. Inhale, lift, pull back bend. Exhale, plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, feel free to drop your knees lower down. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, back. Look forward at the hands. Step or hop it up. Inhale all the way up. Weight in your heels. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plank. Finish that exhale as you lower. Inhale up. Exhale, down dog. So this is where I kind of like to skip one of the chaturangas. So we're just going to go side to side. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Drop your back heel. Inhale, warrior A. We're going to go straight back down. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Drop your back heel. Inhale, come up. Exhale, all the way down. Plank. Lower. Up. And back. Look forward, step or hop it up. Hold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to add in 2 more postures. Inhale, chair. Stay here. Exhale. Inhale one more time, sink it low, open the chest. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, plank. Chaturanga. Up. And back. Right leg up. And exhale, step it forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. All the way down. Up. Back. Left side. Forward. Inhale, up. All the way down. Plank. Lower. Up. Down dog. Look forward. Step or hop it up. All the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Half lift. Plank. Know that you can always skip the chaturanga and go straight into downward dog. Lowering. Lift. Up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, warrior A. This is where we're going to add on warrior B. Exhale, warrior B. Straighten the legs, lift the arms, inhale. Exhale, warrior B again. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, take it all the way down to plank. Straight to down dog if you like, otherwise lower. Lift up. And back. Other side, inhale, left leg. Step it forward. Drop the back heel. Inhale, warrior A. Exhale, warrior B. Inhale, straighten the leg with the arms. Exhale, warrior B again. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, all the way down. Plank. Last time, if you want to take a chaturanga, or straight to downward dog. Ending up in downward dog. Let's take 2 more full breaths in and out. Drop down to the knees. Take 3 breaths in child's pose. Arms wherever you like them, overhead or alongside the body, wrist by the heels. Slow breaths in and out. Feel mind, body, and breath all in alignment, and that free flow of energy because of that. When you're finished with your third round, the arms reach forward again. Inhale forward to table. Exhale, downward dog. Look forward at the hands, step or hop your feet up. Hold it in. Inhale, take the arms all the way out and up to standing. Hands to the heart. Weight in your heels. And whatever feels more comfortable to you. Prayer or one on top of the other over the heart. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, let them hang down by the sides. And this, the most important part of the yoga practice, I feel, feeling the effects of everything prior. So mind, body, and breath in alignment, giving rise to this feeling of openness, presence, and detachment from all the mind stuff. So feel the heartbeat, feel heat, feel the physical presence of the body. Breath moving in and out. And the mind being open to all of it. And now hands back to the heart in either one of those postures or mudras we took a moment ago. Bringing it all back into heart center and feeling ourselves here being present and committed, letting this practice be a symbol and an active practice of self-care, self-love. Nurturing your bodies, your minds, raising your energetic frequency, and knowing that it is totally okay and actually very beneficial to give yourself time, space, and energy for self-love and balance. Deep breath in. Let it go. And take your thumbs to the third eye. In prayer, bowing your head down to the level of the heart, aligning those two energies and setting your intention for the week to come into this practice, self-care and alignment and balance. Namaste. Namaste.
What 3 things can our viewers use? What are the motivations to stay in self-care? We know the sun salutation. We're clear on why self-care is so important, but what are some great objectives or ideas that they can stick with for this week?
I think it's really important to find something to move your body. It's hugely, it creates, the feel-good neurotransmitters in the brain. Exercise does, cardio. Sunshine is a big one. So some sort of movement, whatever it is for you. For me, I love to hike, I love to rollerblade.
We should go rollerblading. You guys, you want to meet us for rollerblading?
Oh my
God, I'm
so
obsessed.
I didn't know you did. That's
Totally.
so awesome. I love it. I need new rollerblading partners. So great. So it's whatever level you're up for. Some people just walk is plenty.
Yeah.
Some people hike. Whatever it is, something to move your body. Whatever resonates for you. That's a huge one. that kind of takes care of the body part, and it takes, they all kind of work in tandem, your body, mind, and spirit. So that is really important.
Okay.
And if you don't know what if you're not in a groove yet, or you don't really know what you love, just experiment.
Start with something.
Start with a walk.
And there's no fail here, peeps. This is just about nurturing yourself. It's about listening to yourself. And instead of when you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm totally going to go for the walk. Whoopsie, I'm on my phone. Why don't you just listen to a podcast and go for the walk? You can still, if you can't drop the phone, or you can't get away from even the children, or you're not in a place to go move your body in a way that you want to, don't hesitate to move your body just in general. Like if you can't get it the way you want it, just choose some way to motivate and move your body.
Yeah. I mean, we've all got to find something.
Yeah.
It just has to be that much of a priority.
Yeah.
Even 5 minutes, we can all do it.
Yeah.
So that's one. Body movement. Some sort of tapping into source, or whatever it is that you refer to it as. So meditation of some sort. And that can be, that it kind of can be off-putting to some people, the word meditation. It just has so many different, connotations.
Well, let's explain meditation. Meditation at the core, from my perspective, is just trying to find some stillness, trying to find a little silence of the mind. And we understand neurologically, and what's happening in the brain is that our brain is judging us 24 hours a day, trying to rationalize, trying to control, trying to perfect, trying to do all, trying, not trusting. So the goal is to replace the trying brain with the trusting brain. And so meditation gives us that opportunity to just kind of slow things down. And when the inner judge shows up, or the to-do list and checklist shows up, trying to just say, okay, we're just 5 minutes, and you can set your phone for 5. If you're expanding to 15, just set that timer and just give yourself that time. And what I've noticed, especially in the shutdown and pandemic, is how many moms have been hiding in their closet. And so that's okay too. If you have to hide in your closet from your children or your husband, do that. Just find some stillness, find some quiet, and allow as much as you can that inner judge, that inner critic, that inner noise that is your ego, to just take 5 minutes off. That's what I would consider meditation to be.
And you can just give it permission to be like, you know what, self?
Right.
You're just gonna take a little break. You can come right back.
Yeah.
And make
you can
all
yell
those
at me in
lists.
5.
Right. It's just a pause. It's just a pause.
5 minutes.
And so I feel that word responsibility.
Yeah.
In a way, I almost feel like we forget that we are these planetary creatures. We are these beings on planet Earth, amidst planets and solar systems and so many incredible things. Like, you can't deny the fact that we are cosmic, incredible creations.
Yeah.
And that we come from somewhere beyond just, an egg and sperm. Like, there's so much more. So the visualization that I sometimes use is like one of the old, big, heavy cordless phones on the charger, because I can see the antenna going up and it's sitting upright, and it's just like our responsibility to each day, or as often as we can, charge into the planet, charge into what's above, and just remind ourselves there's just so much more than our idea and our stress and whatever is happening right now. So it's just a little bit of a responsibility.
And it goes back to that self-care, as we're talking about regardless. But again, when you're in resentment, when you're in control, what that says to me is you are out of energy. What that means is that you are depleted and you need to plug it in. Yeah.
In whatever way.
And
works.
on Nurture Now, you guys, you're going to find loads of meditations, loads of opportunity to find movement and meditation. So if any of this feels hard or different to you, just know that it's supported on this application. So you guys can go scroll through and find meditations and movements to help support that. Yeah.
And I would say, so the third is basically tying the both in together. So you have movement, you have tapping into source energy, and then for me, it's yoga. It's a yoga practice, and it's actually a physical one. You can practice yoga without moving your body that way. But I'm a yoga teacher, so I'm a little bit biased. It's one of my centering practices of choice. It kind of covers all of it. So a yoga practice, there's so many different kinds, and So that's what I do, and that's what I invite you guys to do too, is find a practice that you love, find a teacher that you love, find something, and do it for a week.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So those are the 3 things. I'm going to add a 4th one only because I feel self-care, especially in this time construct that we're living in. We need to really think about the food that we're putting in our mouths. We really need to think about how we are nourishing our being through food. So what you eat is also what vibrations you're putting in. So if you're living on a Diet Coke, top ramen kind of lifestyle, you might want to consider what it would feel like to put in more green food, more healthy proteins, less processed foods. Really important right now, something that Nikki said as well, is getting outside and getting in the sunshine. That vitamin D is essential right now. All the research and studies are showing that vitamin D deficiency is so high thanks to sunscreens, thanks to just our indoor lifestyles. We don't go outside very much anymore. So super important to be really considerate of the D vitamins, the C vitamins, and just nourishing and taking care of yourself in any way. So if it's hard to think about 2 different movements, replace one of the movements. If you can't do yoga or you can't get outside, replace that then with food, and really considering what foods you're putting inside your body. Yeah?
So important.
Yeah.
Sunshine and food are, equally up there with
pretty
me.
much my lifestyle.
Likewise.
Right.
Yes.
Food is my spirit animal, and if I were ever out of money, food would still be my number 1 priority.
Yes,
So.
no, I have always, I've scraped by many times in my life, and I still have managed
Food.
to.
Yeah.
I choose, because it's so important. It's our fuel source.
Yes.
This is our vehicle. We want it running great. So it's
Food.
and sunshine.
Food, sunshine.
Take advantage of summer while it's here.
All right, you guys, thanks for joining us for this amazing Magic Monday. Self-care for the next 7 days is Sun Salutation, all these beautiful tips and tools. So please, please, please let us know how this is landing for you and what you want to learn next. We'll see you next week on Magic Monday. Thanks, guys. Peace in.